Tom, yesterday, pretty good day for you, but today, even better. Your weight was better. Tell me about it.
Yesterday I had to work for him. You went to your better schools, and you could just get like one, maybe two out of it. Today, it started off, I got a quick limit again, but then I was starting to grind. Then the storms rolled in, and it was hammer down time. The schools were up in attack position. They bit like they were supposed to. And that's part of this game, is just knowing when to be aggressive or when to sit and milk it. And a couple times we're on schools, I caught a 5-pounder, catched a couple threes. The back of my head was thinking, well, you sit here, maybe grind a few out, but it was just too good. And I just went and I started hitting any good spot that was open, and they were going. And it was open, and you saw them, I mean, you just hammered them. Got about 20 minutes of it. They go down. Instead of sitting there and grinding, go to another one. And it was fun for about 2 hours.
When you say attack mode, what do you mean?
Well, you can just see them on the ledge. When they're just kind of all, it looks like wall-to-wall carpet. You see dot, 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 dot all across there. You make a few bite. When they start to get humped up, it looks like a haystack or something, that mound in a tight little spot. They're up feeding. And a couple spots we even saw them chase up to the surface.
And what you're saying is when they started doing that on one spot, you knew to run that throughout the lake.
Well, I was, in the back of my mind, I was thinking I need to do that. And once I saw, this go to a couple spots and you see it happen, and it's bite time. It was a short window. It's kind of like when the storms came through, when you'd expect. The wind kind of changed. And there's a brief little window, and all of a sudden that went through and it slicked down, and you still see the fish, but they were back to that just laid out mode again, and they just weren't biting as well.
How long did that window last? 2 hours?
Yeah, it was about 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours. It seemed a lot longer.
How many spots could you hit during that?
Well, I probably could hit a few more. It was like 3 or 4. It was so good. And I had one spot where the rain was pouring down, and it was one after another, and your line's all frayed, and you have to retie, and you don't want to put it down, and the current's pushing, the wind's pushing, you get 20 feet off it, and you get back up there, and bang, 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 and one pulls off, good one, you say, oh no, and then boom, another bigger one gets it. It was crazy.
You have stuff to yourself?
No, it's pretty much all of it. At least a few guys have found it. Some spots a lot of people have found. I'm not fishing the big community holes. I'm doing the stuff that is a little bit more obscure, but there's nothing obscure here.
But it sounds like your key is really knowing when to hold them and when to fold them. I mean, when the time gets right, you know when to start making your rotation aggressively.
Exactly. You just got to, because some days you're going to have to sit and grind, and you can't get on something else, and getting one every 20 minutes is a pretty good deal. And other times when they're biting, you have to capitalize and get those big fish while they're going.
And then once you get them going, how long will you fish a school before you bail and go to the next one?
Oh, until they stop. They tell you exactly when, because it's all of a sudden, boom. It's like a light switch, and you don't see them in the graph. When they're going, every time you ease up a little too far, you see a hive all over there. And it just, when it's over, you go, it's just over.
Scott, we got to look at you out there this morning. Things were a little slow. It just goes to show in this ledge fishing game, you got to be patient. You got to know what's going to happen later in the day, and it did for you.
Well, that's exactly right. It's all about timing here. The current obviously plays a big role. Your angle, your cast plays a big role, and time of day makes a big part of it too. So I kind of reversed my scenario today. Yesterday I ended up way south late, and I caught several really nice fish. But today I decided to start down there, and it was kind of the wrong idea. Really looking back, I probably, if I make it tomorrow, I won't do that again. I'll probably start up here and then make my way down, because they seem to be biting a little bit better later on in the day.
Okay. I find it interesting how you guys, I would call it a gamble. I guess it's nothing for y'all guys to fish your way like all the way back north, and then late in the day make another long run, back 30 miles to a place that you, even if you can only fish it 20 minutes.
Yeah, I did. I had to get gas today. I had to stop and get a little gas, and because I wasn't sure if I was going to make it back. So I ran all the way back down as far as I could, again, and it paid off. I basically caught all my fish down there late this afternoon. It was a big deal. So looking forward to tomorrow.
It seems like in the southern end of the lake, a lot less pressure this time. I'm guessing a lot of the guys that get the electronics, they're all down in the north looking for the schools, and it's kind of opened up more water for you.
It has. There's not that many schools that are active right now down south, at least that I've found. I only have really down there maybe 5 or 6 places, and they're good. The quality of the fish is really what's key. I'm not catching a lot of small fish. Up here you get a lot of bites, and you catch a lot of 2.5s and 213s. Down there, I really just don't get that many 213s. I might not get that many bites, but when I do, they're 3.5, 4 pounders, some 5s, things like that. And then the potential of getting 8 or 9 pounders, pretty high.
At this point in the tournament, want to say anything about baits, lures?
To be honest with you, I've caught them on so many different things. It's unbelievable. From everything from a deep diving crankbait, a little river to sea goon. I've caught some on a hair jig. I've caught some on a spoon. The deck of my boat literally has 20 rods on it. But the cool thing is, is that it's all about the timing and all about the decision on what bait you throw. And I can't explain that, obviously, but it's just a feeling you get. Like, all of a sudden I start catching a few on a jig, and then they stop biting a jig, and I have to go to something else. And then I get that rocking for a little bit, and then so they get off of that, and I have to switch to something else again. So you kind of have to kind of rotate through some things and kind of figure out what they want. And when you get that dialed in, you're pretty deadly.
That's almost like the timing within the timing. I mean, there's timing on holes, but then there's timing in baits.
It is, absolutely. I mean, I fished with 2 really good co-anglers the last 2 days. Hector De La Garza, he only caught 2 fish today. And I mean, my hands are killing me. And it's just because I had more options. I had more options. I was throwing a hair jig, a spoon, and switching up to a drop shot. I mean, just mixing it up the whole day, and it paid off.
Charlie, 2 pretty good days for you, 22 pounds per day. Got to look at you out there today. Looks like you got one place going, and that's where all the eggs are in your basket.
Well, that's a big fish place. I live here. That's my home lake, and that place, it usually produces big fish. And so it turned out really well today is what I wanted to do. And I'm real pleased with what I caught. I think took me a long time to catch a limit, as you know, because you were up there, and I didn't think I caught one while you were there. I'd go an hour and a half without a bite. Then all of a sudden I'd catch 2. So it's just, I could see them on my electronics, on my Ray Marine electronics. I could see them really well, and but they were deep, and all of a sudden they'd go up there and feed, and you'd catch one, Just real tough. My partner got a good bag too. He had 15, 16 pounds.
Are you keying on one specific spot there, or are you just running the whole stretch right in through there?
I'm keying on a 160-yard stretch, and that's it. Just staying on it, and nobody's messed with me. I threw a buoy out on the thing, and I kind of had an interesting thing happen today is I threw the buoy out, backed the boat out, and cast just behind the buoy. The 4-pounder hit it just the first cast, I think, and jumped over the buoy. And I said, man, this is going to be a good day. Jumped right over the top of that buoy. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you got the buoy on the right spot then.
That's it, yeah. And been working out good.
Any key baits you want to mention at this point in the tournament?
I'm using a 2-part Buckeye jig and a swim bait. 2-part jig, you just don't lose any fish on it. You catch a lot of fish with it, and it comes apart. The head comes off of it. It's a pretty slick deal. It really works good.
The head slides up the line.
Yeah, just like a slip sinker. So the fish doesn't have anything to have any leverage with, so it works out really well.
How many fish for you on the day?
How many fish?
On the day.
I probably caught 12, total.
2 more days to go. What do you think the chances of that spot taking you to the winner's circle is?
Well, I don't know. It took longer to catch them today, so I may have burned them pretty good. My main objective was to make Forest Wood Cup, so I think I've done that. And because I came in here 45th, so hopefully I'll be able to catch some more tomorrow. I've got some places I haven't been to. I don't know whether they hold up, how much pressure's been on them or anything, because that's my first stop every morning where you saw me today.
Randy, you come in here with 21 pounds, and all you can talk about is what a bad day it was. Tell me why you think 21 pounds a bad day.
Well, we're at Kentucky Lake. I mean, it's a fish factory. Man, I wasn't around many fish today, and I had 3 opportunities to really have a decent bag. I couldn't weigh nothing like 25, but I could have caught some fish today, and definitely had a better bag. But, man, I don't know. I take a lot of pride in fishing clean, and I did not fish clean today.
Yesterday you said you had a dream day on Kentucky Lake in terms of your rotation was good, being able to run the schools the way you wanted to. Did that get discombobulated today?
Well, I'm trying to make the cup, and I fish kind of more conservative today, trying to make sure I was in the top 20. I don't know where I'm going to be at in the points, but I kind of had to fish conservative to try to make the cup. And then, tomorrow, if I make it, I'll turn it loose. I'm going to go fishing tomorrow.
I didn't get a chance to see you today. I talked to some of the guys that watched you. You said you spent a lot of time looking with your electronics before fishing today.
Man, yeah, I turned that Ray Marine on today, and, there's a certain thing I'm looking at fish-wise, just how they setting up and stuff like that. Man, it's just a certain deal. I mean, if I can see it, I'm going to catch 1 or 2, and that's it, And I didn't see much of it today. They're just getting so busted and so scattered. It's hard to find that deal today.
Can I just ask you this? It's not something that's on the bottom that you're looking for, or connected to the bottom. It's how the fish are set up. It's their position. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah, I I don't want to go into too much detail. It's just the way they're setting. You know, it's a certain thing I'm looking for, and you know, I'm bending fish all day, but it's not what I'm looking for. And to me, the percentage is way down. I mean, it's like looking at a fish versus not looking at a fish, just fishing down a bank. So, you know, I know the high percentage, you know, look down there. So that's kind of what I'm going for, and hopefully get some of these boats off the lake today, and you know, we'll be able to do some more looking and get on some more places today.
You teased us on stage with kind of a new bait that might be coming, specifically kind of a TVA ledge kind of bait. Any hints of what that might be?
Well, it's a bait made from a guy, and it's a bait also made from Profound. And man, it's the deal. I mean, you know, it's definitely a fish catcher. I mean, I'm definitely using my arsenal this week, so I'm excited about it. Everybody around me that knows about it is excited about it. Profound is really excited about it, so we're ready to get it out.
Give us one hint. Is the size of this bait small or is it big?
We're on the Tennessee River. It's going to be big. Yeah, it's big. You know, it really is. I think everything we're going to make now is 10 times the size it's supposed to be.
Jason, another pretty good day for you. It sounds like you took a lot of boat riding and not just one way, a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, I've been 25, 30 miles south, and I've been probably 20 miles north. And, you know, a lot of crowding issues, and it's just, you know, I said it at Pickwick, I said it here at the Redback. The keys to these tournaments seems to be finding just as many schools as you can possibly fish, and, you know, ride until you find one that's open, and when you see them, turn around and try to catch them.
When you know these places like this and you know places so far spread apart, it's got to start messing with your mind when you have a place that you're thinking about 30 miles away and 30 miles the other way.
Well, it's kind of like you and I just had the conversation a second ago. You know, I was sitting here at Paris at 1:30 this afternoon and didn't have what I needed, and I ran 25 miles south and burnt 30 minutes of my fishing time to fish 15 minutes on one hole, and I caught an 8-pounder. So, you know, it's the key is just having enough that you got something to fish if somebody's on everything else.
A lot of options is what you want.
You know, I found probably 45, 50 schools for this tournament. There's not as many out now as there was for the Rayovac. You know, actually practice, I didn't really catch much. Of course, I did a lot of looking, but the quality of fish that we caught in practice this time were a little better. But I'm not sure what's happened the last couple of days. I don't know if the weather's busted them up. The fishing's it's actually not great. You know, having to work for them a lot, and it's hard to get schools fired up. But just have enough of them to run and try to make it happen.
Key baits for you at this point in the tournament?
Well, it's the same story for 3 tournaments in a row. I've caught a lot of them on that Castaic Jerky J, and actually a new bait that's just hit the market. Actually, it really hasn't hit the market yet, but Ben Parker Signature Spoon. It's a big Magnum flutter spoon that you'll hear a lot about when ICAST rolls around, and I think I'm probably not the only guy throwing it this week either.
So in terms of, let's talk a minute about the Rookie of the Year. Looks like, I mean, it's not official yet, but it's starting to look like it might land in your wheelhouse. What are you thinking for Rookie of the Year?
Well, I mean, you know, coming in here, really Shane had to stumble a little bit. He had about a 40-point lead on us, and you know, sometimes you just got to keep catching them and see what happens, and that's what's happened this week. And you know, hopefully, fortunately, I can maybe take advantage of it. And you know, there's a couple guys that are still inside the cut right now that have a chance to do it as well. So, you know, we're going to stay humble with it right now and hope what happens tomorrow is right. So,
Andrew, 19 yesterday, 23 today. Did you just kind of take it easy on them yesterday, lay off of them, put the pedal to the metal today, or what?
No, you know, actually what happened is I didn't figure them out. I've kind of figured them out late yesterday.
Okay.
And I just had a sneaking suspicion what I figured out was the deal. And sure enough it was. I'd probably caught, you know, a couple dozen 3-pounders today plus a bunch of big ones. So, you know, I laid off my best couple of spots and just kind of went looking the rest of the day. And I had them primarily by about noon, so.
Was the thing that you figured out a bait change, an angle change, a change down the ledge? I mean, give us kind of an idea what kind of change it was?
You know, honestly, it might sound kind of funny, but I prayed for patience because my spots are really, really good, but they're not pressured by anybody.
Okay.
And I just had to be patient. I knew the quality bites that were there, and I also know that later in the day the bites just increased dramatically. So, you know, I could go run through those spots. I didn't have a keeper until 11 o'clock today. In between 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock, I caught everything.
Okay.
So it was, you know, it was pretty awesome.
So it's all about just waiting until the big flurry happens.
Yeah, yesterday I had a great flurry, and I really I started to kind of dissect what I was doing and try to understand what I was doing. And today I just exploited it, you know, for a few hours at least. And, you know, I have a really good feeling about tomorrow. I left a lot of fish biting today.
You said you had the area to yourself?
I did. You know, actually me and my roommate, Zach Cottle, we were sharing the spots today and yesterday. We shared a lot of information. And, you know, I just happened to hit the rotation at the right time both days, and he missed it yesterday, but I think he ended up catching them today, but he's still out there until 5. So
Primarily one place for you?
actually, no, I have probably like 6 or 7. Okay. You know, I have a bunch of different areas I'm rotating through, and you know, I pull up to the right one at the right time, and it's on fire.